welcome to QI, where we have prepared for you a veritable gallimaufry of gaffs, gammons and other gingham bobs. On the panel tonight we have the gotch-gutted Hugh Dennis. A grim-flashy Grinagog's Phil Jupitus. A gravy-eyed Gundy-Guts Andy Hamilton. A proper gilly-gorpus Alan Davis. And to attract my attention tonight, the buzzers are all on a Georgian theme. Hugh goes... Oh, Andy goes... Phil goes... Wow. And Alan goes...
When I'm feeling winded.
It's George Formby, I believe. Excellent. Now, let's look at a notable gaffe now. How did Captain Schlitz, #2, sink his own U-boat?
I'm assuming that the good captain was in the bath. This couldn't have happened in an actual...
No, it was a real...
What, you mean playing with a toy U-boat?
And
It was
with
a
a
real
#2.
U-boat. No. Oh, I see. I read #2 in that sense, is what you think?
Yes.
Not in yes, #1, carry on,
It might
#1.
have blocked the loo and caused some sort of terrible backup. Affected the ballast.
Imagine how the lavatory on a submarine works.
Sorry about it, a bit of a clue. Yeah, ruthless competitor. It's something to do with the flush on the toilet.
How does that work, do you imagine, when you're underwater?
It's sucked in out, but it let water in, presumably, did it?
Well, the point is that obviously the lavatorial arrangements of a boat that's submersible are very complex, because you can't just flush the water out in the way you can from an aeroplane or a train. And you had to have special training to operate the flush.
Or you shoot a sailor out of the torpedo tube, tied to a rope, he relieves himself and you pull him back in.
Well, it seems that what happened was Captain Schlitt, in his U-boat U-1206, this is April the 14th, 1945, so just before the end of the war.
Oh, how annoying.
Very annoying for him. And he has a poo. And he claims that the loo was faulty and didn't work properly. The Klo,
say that,
as they would say, the Klo was gebrochen. It was not working. But there is a theory that, in fact, he'd just done a rather monster and unpleasant poo and was too embarrassed to ask the sailor who was responsible for the doing of the flushing to come in, because there was a bit of a...
Yeah.
And so he did it himself and got it in the wrong order, and he filled the place with sewage and water. But more importantly...
And just left it.
Yeah. How did...
As you would if you were in a hotel.
Yeah. Come on, say that wasn't... That was like that when I went in.
Yeah.
It was...
Don't go in that one, my God.
So as he climbed out of the tower of the submarine and the
No, they're underwater, that's the point.
This all happened... Did they sink?
Underwater,
Did they perish?
Well, what happened, you see, is there was a leak of this water. The water came in, and it leaked into... What powered those U-boats?
Diesel?
No. They had a battery. A huge acid battery. And when the seawater hits the battery, it creates chlorine gas, toxic chlorine gas. And so they had to rise up to the surface to vent, and they were spotted and blown out of the water. So just because he
It's very unfair to shoot a man with his trousers wrapped down.
It is a bit. But it is the only known case.
This doesn't count.
Well, Captain Karmadov Schlitz sank his own U-boat using nothing more deadly than its own lavatory. Now, here are samples of handwriting from our panellists. I want you to match the handwriting to the panelista and see what you can say about it. Give your reasons if you can. Obviously, don't say your own, because you'll know your own.
Hello, my name is Phil Jupiter.
I wonder who that could be.
I think there's a clue in
it's
that
rather
one.
good handwriting, whoever that is. That's quite sort of calligraphically learnt, isn't it? So, any thoughts? And what about... I must not answer back to Mr...
D is Phil.
D is Phil, you think? Yeah, I think there's a strong chance it's Phil.
I know that D is Andy because he writes on my scripts rude things, when we're filming.
Does he really have that fine handwriting?
I think he has that
It's very
handwriting.
fine.
Yes, that is me.
Congratulations on fine handwriting. A graphologist would say of yours that it's because it's mostly joined up, logical, systematic thinker. Some words are more spaced than others, therefore open, honest, but deep in thought. Sociable because of the slightly forward slant to the right.
Oh, right.
So, OK, that's good. We've got we can eliminate D as being Andy Hamilton.
I think C is Alan.
Because it's the untidiest?
No, I just think it's Alan. Don't know why.
Is it you, Alan?
Yeah.
It is. Oh, that's really good.
How did you know? Because you watched me doing it earlier.
No, I just thought that looks like Alan wrote it. Which is the only way you can play this game.
Close lettering is unstable, apparently. Oh.
There wasn't much room on the bit of paper.
No.
Was there?
Oh, I'll forgive
I had
you.
to squeeze it in to get it in.
Letters not mostly joined up sometimes does things without thinking.
There's a big fat pen. You can't. You gave me a marker pen.
So we're left with B and A. So
I think
B.
Phil and I can probably work
You
out.
think it's a kind of logical thing there. So B is Phil, yeah?
No.
B is Hugh. It's quite good handwriting. It's quite flowing, quite feminine almost, isn't it?
Well, you know,
As your handwriting had a gender reassignment.
my nature.
It's very nice. It's very nice handwriting.
Does it say anything about me?
Yeah. Joins up most but not all letters, artistic and intuitive. Self-control, egotism and coldness, on the other hand, because it's upright.
Why is being upright mean that?
It doesn't. It must be understood at this point that the British Psychological Society and any empirical test ever done has shown that graphology as a way of interpreting character has zero validity, like astrology.
So this is a bit of a kind of non-round.
Yeah,
really.
but it's interesting to know that, and even in America, it's not allowable in court. Forensic. Sorry, forensic graphology, where you prove that this person did write this, that is allowable. But the idea that you can interpret character in it is just absolute
I must say,
nonsense.
I'm now not looking forward to the DNA round.
But the worrying thing about it is that 3,000 British businesses use graphologists for recruitment. They actually hire people on the basis of a completely specious...
Good a way as any there, isn't
Are
it?
they...
Yeah, but it's body water.
Are they...
Girls have nicer handwriting than boys, though, don't they?
That is one
you
thing you
find?
can often... Not
can tell
100%, but you can tell gender, yeah.
And you thought I was a girl?
Well, no, not always. I said not 100%.
We actually Tipp-X'd out the smiley face dots over the eyes.
But I like yours, Phil. I like your A's. It says here about you, self-control, egotism, coldness, unstable, sometimes does things
Well,
without
no, I'm
thinking.
with you there.
Yeah. Unstable. Whoa.
We could maybe have a fight as to who is the coldest.
Let's both get a 99 and just stand there with it.
Yeah. First one to melt loses. Whoa.
I thought I was cold.
Yeah.
He is cold, isn't he? So you did a handwriting
Yeah,
test?
I sat a test to become a French train driver.
What?
My friend's dad was a psychologist for SNCF, and in France, they had this idea that, a responsible job like a train driver, you ought to find out if the person's a maniac or not. We don't bother with that. No. And so I sat the test, and there was a handwriting element, but what they did was you had to hold the pen in your wrong hand,
right.
And they put there's a kind of rubber ring around the middle, and you had to try and trace over what was written there, and if it drifted up the page, you were assertive, possibly too aggressive, and if it went down the page, you were deemed to be too passive. And
Good Lord.
I'm just fascinated how you can drive a train too passively, though. What do you do? How can you be too passive driving?
strange.
All we got